The British Prime Minister faces more headwind in London, and in India he hardly took any notice of it. But was the visit a diversionary maneuver? The Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi has experience in giving a fitting reception to important visitors. When British Prime Minister Boris Johnson landed in India on Thursday, the streets were paved with large welcome signs. Dancers, choirs, and cheering spectators lined the sidewalk. For the head of government, who has come under pressure because of the Partygate affair, it was certainly a welcome change. Because on Thursday, the British House of Commons was supposed to vote on whether a committee of inquiry would review Johnson's statements about the parties during the strict corona lockdowns in 2020, which what happened. Instead of following the debate in London, the British Prime Minister visited the former ashram of Indian freedom hero Mahatma Gandhi in Gujarat, the home region of the Indian Prime Minister. Johnson draped a shawl around a statue of Gandhi and sat at a wooden spinning wheel. In his guestbook entry, he thanked for the privilege of learning how Gandhi used such simple principles as truth and non-violence to make the world a better place, according to Indian and British media. One of the gifts Johnson received was a travel guide to London that Gandhi had written himself. He then went to another university and met Indian entrepreneur and billionaire Gautam Adani. The political talks with Modi were only scheduled for this Friday, the second day of the trip, which has been postponed several times due to the pandemic. By then, at the latest, it was supposed to be clear that the visit is not pure escapism. Since the Russian army invaded Ukraine, the government in New Delhi has refrained from directly criticizing Moscow. The neutral Indian stance is currently causing mild but growing irritation among the Western allies. This not only means that India abstained from voting on all resolutions critical of Russia that were passed in the various UN bodies. New Delhi has also increased its oil imports from Russia, while European countries seek to reduce their dependence on Russian energy. But India has so far reacted negatively to criticism of its attitude towards its old Russian allies. During a visit to Washington, Foreign Minister Subramanyam Jaishankar even accused the West of hypocrisy. He pointed out that the EU probably buys more Russian oil in one afternoon than India does in a month. Because of these sensitivities, it was said before the trip that Johnson would not be giving any lectures to India. Rather, the strategy should be to persuade India to move away from Russia through integration. This is definitely in line with the British strategy, which intends to focus more on this growth region, which so-called tilt in the direction of the Indo-Pacific region. It is also about economy and trade. Since Brexit, Great Britain has also been looking for new sales markets in Asia. According to announcements, investments and export deals worth £1 billion were to be decided during Johnson's trip. The British and their allies will also try to make India more independent from Moscow through arms deals. Russia is India's largest arms supplier, but New Delhi is also increasingly buying armaments from the United States, France, and Israel. Britain could strengthen its position in this lucrative market. With this move, London is also placing the strategic focus on the Indo-Pacific. British ships cross the South China Sea. The United Kingdom has joined one of the region's multilateral forums with the AUKUS Security Pact, which also includes the United States and Australia. Along with the United States, Japan, and Australia, India belongs to the so-called Quad Group, which cooperates on security policy. Especially in dealing with China's growing power, synergies can definitely be found between India and the West. And I'll see you in my next video. Bis gleich.